Hello, and welcome to week 0 of my Director of Operations series, where I'll be documenting my journey as an experienced Director of Operations, joining an established team. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, experiences, my wins, my setbacks, to hopefully provide you insight into the position and how somebody like me approaches the job. So, with all that said, let's jump into the current situation. So the team I'll be joining is already well established with a 20-year veteran as the team leader. Along with the team leader are 2 buyer's agents, a listing agent, and a transaction coordinator. They did have a director of ops for roughly 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure exactly the time frame. That left the team about a month ago, and that is the role that I'll be stepping into. I myself have been in real estate for over 20 years, primarily running operations for teams and brokerages. The past couple of years, I have been working in commercial real estate, and I will be returning to the residential real estate space with this change. So I am not new to the role, but I am new to doing video series for others. So please bear with me as I get a little bit outside of my comfort zone putting this together. So what are our team goals? Well, the team goal is to get to the next level, which I'm going to be defining as 100 million in closed volume in a 12-month period. I have pulled numbers from the MLS, which won't be 100% accurate, but it should be pretty close. And from what I can tell, the team currently stands at roughly 40 million in production for the past 12 months. I've been told that they are on track for 50 million by the end of this year. So in essence, we need to double production in order to achieve our goal. So with that said, how have I been preparing for the job? Mainly, I've been focusing on mindset and reinforcing the lessons that I've learned over the years. I've been re-listening to some of my favorite books on management and leadership, as well as just doing some general strategizing. I think in the first week, it's going to be a paramedic approach. I'm trying to stop any immediate bleeding. Since the role has been vacant for at least a month, probably closer to 2 months, I want to find out what balls are being dropped. I want to pick them back up and get us back on track as quickly as possible. The first thing that I'm going to do in order to do this is I'm going to spend some time doing one-on-ones with each team member, mainly to get their perspective. And in order to do that, I'm going to ask several questions, but there are a couple of key questions that I want to make sure I cover with each person. So the first question that I want to ask is going to be, what's not getting done that should be done? Here, I want to know the gap that each person is experiencing right now, so that I can do my best to address that. The second question I'm going to ask, what do you think the team's mission, vision, and values are? Here, I want to see how well this is defined and communicated to the team, and I want to see if they're able to articulate it back. Am I going to get a lot of different answers from everybody, or am I going to get a consistent response? Third question, 12 months from now, what does success look like for you? Here, I want to hear their thoughts for both themselves and the team as a whole. The fourth question that I'm going to ask, what do I need to do to support you? So this is a carte blanche opportunity for them to just tell me what they need personally. What do they really feel is holding them back right now, and is going to help them succeed? And the last question I want to make sure I ask is, for us to effectively work with each other, how often should we meet? Now, I'm going to make time each week to talk with everyone. However, the amount of time is going to vary based on their needs. The purpose of these meetings is not for me to deliver any sort of message or feedback or anything of that nature. More so than anything, it's just an opportunity for me to listen so I can hear their concerns and see what things that need to be done on the team level. So those are the 5 main questions. I'll probably ask others, but those are going to be the 5 that I want to make sure that I cover with everyone. So in addition to meeting with everyone and getting their perspectives, I'm also going to identify the tools and processes that are currently in place and gain administrative access to all of those tools. I do have some of my own personal preferences on things that I like to use, but starting out in any organization, I first seek to understand how things are currently working. I'm not looking to make any immediate changes. and I'm not going to pursue making any changes with the current tools or processes. The only reason I'm going to do that is because it doesn't meet my expectations to get the job done. With that said, here are some of the essentials that I'll be looking at. There are going to be some others, but there are four primary tools that I want to pay attention to on the first week. The first tool is the pipeline. How are we tracking transactions from client acquisition to closing? The second tool that I want to look at is task management. So, how are we making sure that everything gets done for each process in a consistent fashion? And how well defined are those processes? The third tool I want to take a look at will be the CRM. Which one are we using? How are we keeping it updated? And what processes are in place to engage our database? And the last one will be finances. How are we tracking finances and are we profitable? Now, this last one, the finances, this one item is probably the one that doesn't get done in the first week, mainly because a certain level of trust needs to be established before a team leader is going to grant access to the books. However, the main reason that an organization is hiring a director of ops is to improve growth and profitability. So the way I look at it is ultimately the company's bottom line is my bottom line. So final thoughts. Even though I am an experienced director of operations, I am nervous jumping into this role. I want to perform well and help the team achieve its goals as quickly as possible. Once I get established and have the ship on the right course, I think the two main levers that we're going to need to focus on will be recruiting and lead generation. It's nearly impossible to double production without adding people and generating more opportunities. So in our market, an agent producing 10 million in sales volume is doing really well. We would need 10 of those in order to hit our mark. We would need 10 agents producing 10 million in order to hit that 100 million mark. Is this going to be difficult? Yes. Yes, I think this is going to be a difficult task. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. I wouldn't take on this role and I wouldn't be pursuing this goal if I just didn't think it was something that we could get done. So to recap, my goals for this first week, I want to meet with each team member one-on-one. So that's the first goal. The second goal is to identify the daily gaps and bridge them. So going back to the paramedic approach and stopping the bleeding. The third goal is to gain access and assess the current tools and processes. So I want to learn as much as I can about what's currently going on. And the fourth item is actually to complete the week one recap video and post next Sunday. So I want to make sure that I'm regularly getting my content put together and out to you. Because it's important to me that I stay on track with this, that I'm not coming back and doing things in the past. I want you guys to see what it's like in the moment as I'm going through it. So that is the four goals that I have for the week. So thank you for joining me at the start of this journey. Tomorrow is actually my first day. I look forward to seeing you next week to share how things went. So I'll see you next week and take care, everyone.